Welcome back everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cook steak in the Weber kettle. Now we're going to be working with this beautiful 2-inch thick Scotch fillet steak. Now I'm going to choose to reverse sear this steak. Now that's basically cooking it at a lower temperature so it cooks much more evenly and stable, and then we'll finish it off with a sear at the end. If you were to direct grill a steak that thick, you'd potentially risk burning the outside or overcooking the outside before the middle's done. Another important tip is to get your steak out 10 to 15 minutes before you're ready to cook it. That way it's going to come up to room temperature and it's going to cook much more evenly as well. And that's what we're going to do today. If you need a trimmy steak, go ahead and do it. This one's good to go. We're going to get it seasoned up, then we'll let it sit while we set our Weber up. We've chosen to go with a combination of our garlic goals and Bronco Lane by Heavenly Hell. So we'll give this steak a nice generous coating. Right, so now our steak's seasoned, you can get some charcoal ready or briquettes, because the next thing we're going to do is set our Weber up. Right, so we'll take our lid off and our cooking grate, and we're going to be using our slow and sear setup. But if you don't have one, you can go ahead and get one charcoal basket full of briquettes or charcoal ready. Then we'll get a couple of firelighters in there and light them up. Right, so you've got about 5 to 10 minutes before that charcoal is going to be ready. So you can use that time to get some smoking wood ready. We've gone with some cherry from Natural Smoke, but if you've got another favorite smoking wood, feel free to use that. Now we can't really do too much more until that charcoal's ready, so we'll come back when it is ready. Right, so our firelighter's burnt out, our charcoal's caught light nicely. We're not going to use the water pan for this cook because it's only going to be a relatively short one. So we can get our cooking grate back on along with our lid, and we'll make sure both our top and bottom vents are wide open, and we'll give this Weber 5 minutes to preheat. All right, it's been 5 minutes, so we'll take our lid off, get our nice cherry chunk on, and then our beautiful steak. And now we can get our lid back on. So we're going to be running our Weber at around that 120 to 135 Celsius range, or that 250 to 275 Fahrenheit. And as usual, we're going to leave our top vent wide open and control our temperature using our bottom vent. So once our Weber gets up to around that 90-ish degrees Celsius or 200 Fahrenheit, I'm going to start shutting that bottom vent down until it stabilizes off, and if I need to increase temperature, I'll open that bottom vent up a bit, and if I need to decrease, then I'll close it down a little bit. And if you do find that your temperatures are getting away from you and you have already closed down that bottom vent, don't be afraid to add a water pan in there. That's going to absorb some heat and help stabilize your temperature. And for our steak, we're going to smoke that until we reach an internal temperature in the thickest part of 54 degrees Celsius, or around 130 Fahrenheit. I'm assuming for a steak that size, it's going to take us about an hour to an hour and a half to get there. So we'll come back once we've hit that stage. All right, so it's been just over an hour and we've pretty much hit our target internal in the steak. So we're going to get it into a tray and let it rest. Now, while our steak's resting, we can get rid of this smoking wood and we'll set up for a sear. Now we're going to leave our lid off to get them coals raging hot, and if you want to sear direct over them coals, go for it, but we're going to be using our cast iron griddle pan. I absolutely love the crust you get from a cast iron sear, so we're going to go ahead and place that on our charcoal. So that cast iron griddle pan is going to take 5 to 10 minutes to heat up, which is a perfect amount of time for our steak to rest. Now, resting your steak is a very important step, as it allows all of those juices in the steak to just relax nice and even throughout that whole cut. And because we're giving it a rest now, because we're reverse searing, we don't have to give it another rest after we've seared it. But if you were to directly grill your steak, then you definitely need to give it a rest afterwards. So we're going to come back now once this steak is ready to sear. All right, so we're ready to sear this steak. Now, if you know what we're doing here, let us know in the comments below, or if you want to have a guess, go ahead and do that as well. All right, now let's sear this steak. All right, so we're going to give it about a minute each side. All right, now to slice it open. All right, now it's time to taste. I'm going to serve it up with some chimichurri. This stuff is absolutely amazing. It tastes just as good, if not better, than making chimichurri yourself. I know that's a big call, but you're going to have to try it to see for yourself. So I'm going to cut into a bit of this steak. I'll try a bit without the chimichurri. Wow, that is amazing. Now, before I forget, I'll put links to everything we've used in this video down in the video description for you to check out. Now, I absolutely love chimichurri with steak, but if you've got another favorite steak topping, I'd love to hear about it. Just gonna have a piece from my favorite part, the rib cap. So tender and juicy. That's such an enjoyable steak. Tender, juicy, beautiful crust from that sear, everything I like in a steak. So that's the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.